tour book tag. But first, if you like what you see here, then please hit that subscribe button and you'll be notified every time I do a video, which is every Sunday and Tuesday, and I do a fun, positive Freedom Friday dance video on Fridays. This tag was originally created by Book Learning. I will link her original tag below, and it consists of 12 bookish and around the world travel questions. Question 1 is inspiration, a favorite bookish character from TV or film. I didn't actually expect to have many people in mind for this one, but there actually were a few that came to mind that are my favorite bookish characters. But I think my all-time favorite bookish character would be Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and of course I aspire to one day have her library. Question 2 is travel agent, a favorite author outside of your demographic. Now, being in Dubai, most of the authors I read, if not all of the authors I read, are outside of my demographic. But I'm gonna go with Sarah J. Maas for a favorite author outside of my demographic because she's definitely fast become a favorite author in like the last year. I just have Sarah J. Maas on the brain and I'm so looking forward to A Court of Frost and Starlight. Question 3 is destination, a favorite place you like to read about. As an absolute fantasy nut, I love to read about fantasy places. So I love to read about worlds that I cannot get to without using my little book portal. That's what I love. But if I had to choose an actual place, I think I'd say that I like to read books that take place in England. I don't know why, maybe it just feels like a little bit homey because I'm from England, or maybe because my family's there, or because I can see some of the places depending where they're talking about. I don't know, maybe because I can hear the accents, but I don't know. I do like to read, if it's not a fantasy place, I'd say that my second favorite places to read about would be books based in England. Question 4 is Take Off! A book you read to travel to a place you've never been. So this pretty much filters into what I just said, how I like to read fantasy places because it takes me to places I've never been and places I could never go. I did, however, really enjoy reading Outlander. I have been to Scotland before, but I haven't been to the moors of Scotland and that beautiful side of it. I was just in Edinburgh. And the places that she describes and how she describes it is really, really vivid, and I would really love to go to where she went just because of that book. And I loved, when reading that book, I loved experiencing Scotland that way. Part 2, you're finally there. You're on your vacation and you're going exploring, out and about. Question 5 is the sights. A reading spot you want to visit. There are so many reading spots I want to visit, and then there's also the, the natural places, the hills, the beaches, the rivers, the streams, whatever. But one place that comes to mind, and I'm like, yes, one day I will go there, is Riverside Library in China. It's on the riverside, and it's just brimming, overflowing with books, and it has nice chairs, and if I'm not mistaken, it has those chairs that kind of like are like half an egg, and you can curl up inside it and open your book and just like, leave me alone, I'm in my egg. Question 6 is taste, a food or drink you first encountered in a book. This one's quite exciting because I can actually mix my fantasy fiction love with reality for this one, because a drink that I first heard about in a book and then got to actually drink was butterbeer from Harry Potter, which actually is quite yummy. It tastes like soda, like Canada Dry, but with caramel, kind of, but delicious. Question 7 are the locals of where you are. A favorite character in a book that is foreign to you. A character that I love who is from Beijing, China, is Cinder from the Lunar Chronicles because she's part cyborg and she's awesome. Question 8 is sounds, a word or a phrase that you learned from a book. One word that I learned through my travels of the modal instruments was parabatai, which, as I'm sure most of us know, is the joining of two warriors who are like joined in a ritual to fight alongside each other, and this connection is like, Question 9 is souvenir 1, and that is a favorite bookstore that you have been to. Now, I sadly cannot even remember the name of this place. I'd have to ask my friend, but it was in London and she took me to it, and it's not very big, and it's got narrow stairs that go up. It's all wood, of course, wood and books leaning out of the shelves, and it's got these little alcoves where you can go and you can sit and read, and again, just surrounded by books. It was gorgeous. It's so cute, and it's in London, but I do not remember the name. If I find the name, I will insert it somewhere here. Question 2 is a favorite library you've been to. Now, sadly, I haven't been to that many libraries. I've only been to about 3 libraries, but of those 3, my favorite was definitely New York Public Library in Manhattan. Part 3 is coming home, where you have to unpack all the stuff and do all the laundry, and it's not fun. And for me, it stays in the suitcase for about a week before it leaves that suitcase. Unless, of course, it's new and gifts for people and souvenirs. Then they come out straight away, but everything else stays in the suitcase for a very long time. And question 11 is reunion. A book you bought or read to learn more about your hometown. For this, I have no answers. So not only do I mostly read fantasy, so not about my hometown, but also I'm a bit of a nomad and I don't really have a hometown. I mean, I do, but I don't. So I was born in England, in Sheffield, but then I only stayed there for about 5 years, and then I moved to Saudi Arabia, and I was there for a few years, and I was in Dubai, and I've pretty much been in Dubai for most of my life, and I lived in Scotland for a little bit, but yeah, I don't really have a hometown, but if I did have a hometown, it would probably be Dubai, because I've been here most of my life. But then, there are no books that I have read that are based in Dubai. There aren't actually that many books that are based in Dubai. There are some, and I actually have one on my shelf that I do want to read at some point, but yes, that is all. That is all. Question 12 is, oops. A book of yours that is on its own adventure, so that you either loaned it out and it's never returned, or a book that you lost or forgot somewhere. That would never happen! That is not me. If I lend out a book, which I don't really do, but if I do, I am sure to continuously question the person on their reading experience of the book, how far they are of the book, and at the same time gauging how long it will be until I get that book back to fill the space on my shelf. So no, I do not forget books places, and I do not lend them out and never get them back. However, I am in possession, I must admit, of somebody else's Oops book. Hunger Games. And you can tell it's not mine because it is torn. So I borrowed this from a friend about 3 years ago, and I told her that I'm a bit of a slow reader and I was in the middle of another book, and she said it's fine, so I was like cool. So I read this book that I was reading, and then I moved on to this book, but then because we were teachers, I was teaching at the time, so the summer came and I ended up reading this over the summer, and then September came and I just forgot to give it back to her, and she no longer worked at the school that I was working at, and now it's 2 years later, she's moved back to England, and I still have Hunger Games. And that is all for the World Tour book tag, and now I actually want to go look at real holiday destinations and just get excited for maybe Christmas or the summer holidays, cause yeah, it's got me in the mood. And as always, if you like YA fantasy novels with other portals, other worlds, and different versions of yourselves in those worlds, then please click the link below to get a free copy of the first book in my YA fantasy series sent straight to your inbox. And please consider leaving a review if you read it and enjoyed it. And that is all for today. Until next time, I'll see you.